Bob, Band of Baddies, they are the odds-on favorite coming into this tournament. That being said, you have to watch out for the guys over at Surreal Gaming, and you do need to watch out for Based. These are all very good teams. Based especially, Yagachu, Don Lu, some serious threats on that team.
Don Lu, currently holding, I believe, like 4 of the 10 slots on the top
10 leaderboard. Absolutely.
No big deal. He plays a little bit of Don Gate, and he really enjoys himself. But Based, I feel like if I had to guess one team that was just flat out hungriest, it would have to be Based.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, they got destroyed. And by destroyed, I mean, I believe it was like 19 kills to 1 against Destructive Influence.
Yes.
And they didn't make it out of the group stages of the Sick Note 6. So Based is hungry for a victory. But at the same time, you can't count out Serial Gaming. They got 2-0'd in the grand finals by BOB. And I know they are hungry for that first place victory in this first Race to the Gate Northern qualifier.
I mean, Surreal Gaming has an outstanding jungler in Cuss. He is quite amazing. Acids, long-term player. Iron Rust, long-term player. Veteran players, and then you cannot discount the impact that Evaniscus has had on that team. He is an outstanding tactician, plays an outstanding mage. We're really looking forward to hopefully seeing some games from them tomorrow. All right, guys. So here we go into the first game of the Race to the Gate Championship Series. This is a beta tournament for the brand new MOBA Dawngate. If you're interested in Dawngate, you can actually go to www.dawngate.com where you can sign up and register to play the game right now.
But taking a look at these first initial item purchases plus loadouts, you see Ronin is going to be running a little bit of armor, a little bit of life drain, power, and mastery as well. I really like having early mastery in my range carry build because if you get that crit in lane, that could be the end of the lane essentially, especially empowered by Bolt if you're lucky enough to get it as Ronin. Yep. You have some armor and defense penetration plus Warden from Sakari. Power, armor, and life drain. So even as the hunter, not taking Hoplite Duelists that a lot of hunters do. So we'll talk about that in just a second.
Yep.
A lot of armor coming out from Mara, plus the Warden, plus the Brawler. So she's going to get tankier around enemy shapers. Desecrator running a ton of health, 114 health, 9.4 armor, plus that Warden shield. So he's going to be pretty hard to tank down. We'll see exactly how he builds, because Desecrator is one of those shapers that can build tanky, can build magey, and can build a little bit.
Now take a look at this Volek loadout, Ravager.
Huh?
This is he is going to do a lot of damage very early on. A little bit of a title prison coming out from Mianhe there. Just wanting to see is there anybody in the bush. They didn't want to completely face check it.
So Mianhe on Amaranth there. He's got some defense pen, a little bit of armor to help him survive against the range carries during the laning phase, plus Warden and some health to boot. You've got health on King of Mass, defense penetration, armor, and Warden as well. So a lot of Wardens being taken. Actually, oh my gosh, RE is waiting around the side of this brush. The Ice Lances are coming out from Sakari to slow down Volek. He may not be able to get out of this one. He does not have Blink. He is forced to take Vanquish because he is the hunter right now. And this could be for a great block from Prime Knight. Will actually not be anything because he still goes down. Volek does die. Prime Knight's going to go ahead. He took 1 bullet for his teammate, for his comrade, but the Blink came out, and that's going to be first blood in the favor of RE.EU.
That was actually excellent mechanics from Mianhe and Prime Knight to body block. Take those shots, take those Ice Lances from Punisher, but it was for naught. Unfortunately, he does go down.
And we see Snitch and Punisher going to be in this lane. Skyness actually pretty low after that initial engage. He's already being chunked down to about a half health. But Sakari is staying up in this little northern path and just not letting LFDH get any room or get any footing here. She's throwing out the Ice Lances as much as she can. She is running out of a resource, but those regenerate after a few seconds. There you go. You see them right there. Snitch is going to go ahead and continue farming this wave up with that Bolt. That is an auto attack reset on Ronin, so it helps you farm pretty effectively. Looks like the junglers are going to... Volek, of course, going to be a little sad that his power buff was stolen by Ferris, but they're both going to start on their armor buff right now and then move on to the auxiliary camps once that ends. Down bot, we see the Desecrated Ground actually coming out and locking down Amaranth, followed by the Silence. Able to do the Q and E at level 2 now because we actually recently moved Desecrator's Silence on his clap to his passive instead of on his W. So he's able to get those silence plays out far earlier than he would normally.
Yeah, that does completely change how you play Desecrator in the early levels. Talking about Skyness up top on King of Masks, he has to be just hoping to get level 2 as quickly as possible. We see he does have level 2. That gives him just a little bit of CC so he can help take some of the pressure off of Prime Knight on Michaela. Punisher is just keeps on landing that soft CC, but he actually didn't take Flourish. Okay, so he went straight into the Endless Delights.
At this point in time, he's just trying to get out damage. He's just trying to zone as much as possible. He feels like he doesn't need the root, nor because that would be his only option. And he wants the eggs. He wants the AoE denial. So every time that Punisher comes in, hopefully he can put out more damage than Sakari can stack up with the Ice Lance. So he's throwing out the Q, throwing out the E. Once he gets level 3, which he does now, I'm assuming he's going to take a point into Flourish. I think it would be almost silly if he did not. But we'll see what happens. Volek is actually coming from behind for a gank. There's the Flourish, but he does get slowed. He does blink for it and lands a root onto Sakari. She does blink out of there. The Sentinel Strike is landing on creeps, actually. The waltz up forward. Snitch is being chased on pretty hard here. The Devourer comes out from Volek, but the Ice Lance is slowing him. There's Ferris here for this fight to turn it into a 3v3. Curse of Weakness comes out, and the Shatter absolutely obliterates Volek. This was a pretty good fight for LFDH, but it just turns around completely, and RE.EU comes out 2-0 in that engage.
Wow, that was rather unfortunate for LFDH there. They could taste that kill right there. They could definitely taste it. You know, what can you say? What else can you say? But Ferris has a lot of damage potential early. He's already level 4. He's already level 5 at this point. So you know he's got at least 2 points in his W already.
Myanhe with a good Wave Rider getting him out of that desecrated ground. He definitely didn't want to be locked up in that spot. You see Mara putting her Tree of Life in this brush. While that doesn't give vision, that at least gives her a target to Snapdragon to and get the cooldown reset on it if she wants to engage. You do see a ward in the bottom brush for LFDH. They definitely want to see if Mara or Desecrator are camping that. But right now, Mara and Desecrator are just playing it in the lane. They're not taking brush control right now. They're simply waiting for this lane to push. Porkchop is going to push us in. And Desecrator is going to be able to farm this, hopefully pretty effectively under the binding. Yeah, it looks like Mara is going to help him out there. The Forgotten Tubes comes out, and that's some good underbinding CS. That's a hard thing to do, especially as a mage Desecrator.
Yep. So here's a question for you, Brad. With RE.EU getting up with a quick 3-0, do they still build defensive? Do they still build magic resist? Or do they just say, you know what, screw it, we're already getting ahead, we're doing so much damage already, do we just focus on damage and blow them up?
I mean, in an early will is very, very strong. Especially, yes. I would expect Mara and Desecrator to maybe pick up just a single early will, maybe. Actually, it looks like Ferris solos Parasite. Really great pickup right there for him. That's a really early Parasite. So Parasite does have 3 evolutions. He takes them at the first evolution, and what that's going to give his team is just a global Vim boost. That is our, the resource in our game. Its second evolution gives a buff plus Vim, and its third evolution gives a buff, Vim, and super strong pushing. Oh my God! Whoa. Shatter just obliterated.
How many stacks?
Michaela.
How many stacks of Ice Lance?
That had to be 6.
That had to be 5 or 6 stacks. I mean, that was half health to none. I mean, so for anybody who may be watching and thinking that's ridiculously strong, it's not ridiculously strong because it required him to hit 5 or 6 skill shots in a row on a Shaper that actually has mobility. I mean, you know, Michaela has a dash away with her waltz. Yeah. She could have gotten away, but outstanding play there from Punisher on Sakari.
You know, it's one of those things where, like, you feel like as long as you're not super far down the lane, there's not a lot of room for Sakari to chase you.
Right.
But, I mean, I feel like Prime Knight just took a few steps too many.
Yep.
And he was under his binding when that Shatter came out, right? So he felt safe. But, I mean, Punisher just pretty much a sniper, just landing these skill shots backwards and forwards all over. And he just got level 6. So level 6 allows him to use his Avalanche, which is not only going to stun, but it's going to effectively apply 2 stacks of Frozen as well.
Yep.
So we're going to see these huge bursts from Shatter get even bigger as the game goes on. Especially right now, he is doing super well in his lane. Ferris is going to go ahead and deny some Vim for his for the enemy right now by harassing the Spirit Well workers. He takes down a few right now. At the top, you see 54 Spirit Well workers to 48, slightly in the advantage of the Mortal side. And he just walks away from that pretty freely. All the while, his range carry and Sakari are actually taking down this binding as well. Looks like he's going to come around for a gank. If King of Mass and Michaela don't respect the damage that's coming out from Sakari and Ronin right now, they're going to be in a terrible 3v2 situation. You see Amaranth actually roaming up top. He is going to get spotted out by a ward, assuming he walks to that bottom brush. I don't think they know it just yet, but they're trying to bait this out pretty hard. This is what they want. They want Ronin and Sakari to get aggressive enough to try to take this binding, and they want to come out, I believe, right before it dies. No. But the presence of Mara actually deters them from that strategy. So a decent attempt to catch, but a great ward placement by, I believe, that's Sakari's ward right there.
Yes.
Spots out this potential threat and Amaranth, In the meantime, you see down bot lane, Mara tried to roam up as well. She sees that, oh, Amaranth roamed up, I can afford to roam up. Desecrator this entire time has been getting fairly free farm plus a single lane experience. Already level 7 to the level 6 and 7 of Ashabel in this lane, Ashabel and Amaranth. Gale's coming out, allowing him to farm from range.
So
Ronan already with the ambition, double power, and time in his build. Sakari with growth, conviction, and time as well. See a little bit, a lot of tankiness actually coming out of Ferris with that pride. And,
well, he's going into the kind of the standard jungle Ferris build this day, which is the pride into the vengeance. So a lot of auto attack damage focus from Ferris, you know, the on hit effects and everything like that. So it's a fairly common thing these days. Mara going with the void and the vigor, might not unexpected, a might rush from Desecrator, and then a little bit of ambition. Going to be building. A little desire. Going to probably build that into an ambition later on Volek.
And Amaranth still yet to go back. She is level 6 with 2,000 Vim in her pocket, but still stuck on that single basic item. And a Purity coming out from King of Mass. I'm assuming we'll probably see that built into a Prosperity eventually. The Hunger, Time, and Power for Michaela with 15k Vim in the bank. So when she goes back, she's going to make some big, happy purchases. An incredible gank from Sakari will actually burn 2 blinks, but Mianhe's trying to live on Amaranth right here. This may be a great storm wall from Ashabel. The Shatter not quite enough to finish her off. That was an incredible turnaround from LFDH with some well-timed blinks, an incredible storm wall from Ashabel, and a great Riptide to knock up 3 members under the binding from Amaranth as well.
Like you were talking about earlier, Brad, you can use that Stormwall in so many different ways, offensively, defensively. That was an outstanding job of saving his teammates behind. I mean, there's nothing else you can say about that. He saved his teammate, managed to stay alive himself. Both those guys getting out of there with just a little bit of health and managing to get a kill in the process.
Sakari comes in with a 2-man avalanche, and it looked very, very good. It looked like a almost free dive from RE.EU, but LFDH does a great job of countering that dive, keeping themselves safe, burning 2 blinks in the process, but getting a kill. I would say that's a great value.
That's you know what, you you can't blame Sakari in that one. You just cannot blame Sakari. No. You know, that ult was wonderfully placed. Like the placement of that ult,
better.
It could not have been better. Like you know, that team they just got outplayed in that case. RE.EU just got outplayed, and it's not a bad thing. I mean, we're seeing some outstanding plays already, and we're early on into the tournament.
Yeah, Mianhe dodging out of the way of some high damage coming into him with that Wave Rider, allowing him to put himself between some his pursuers. Sakari missing a few key Ice Lances too. You know, Ice Lance is one of those abilities that it is a skill shot. It's got a pretty fast missile speed, I would say, but the slowing does stack up. So they get kind of easier and easier and easier to hit, but Punisher actually missing the first few, which are kind of the most important ones, and not being able to lock down Mianhe enough to kill him.
So taking a quick look at farm, if we can. Porkchop looks as though he's starting to get pretty far ahead there. Yeah, I mean, he's got 89 CS. He's doing pretty well there. He's already got his aggression. Probably going to be seeing that turn into a destruction really quickly. Do you think he's going to prioritize something like a Definity, giving him a little bit of mastery and some spell overload, or is he going to focus maybe more on the chaos after that?
I think the destruction is a good rush. Like, he definitely needs it to kind of keep up with the potential tankiness that are coming out from RE.EU. Mara does use that Snapdragon in there, but she actually, Snapdragon's back to her own tree of life. Maybe just a misplaced mouse or something, but that is quite alright. Ice Lance is coming out to try to zone out the team of LFDH. Volek potentially coming around, but no, he is spotted out by a ward, so I don't think that plan is going to work out very well for him. But you see the top lane, you see Michaela just pushing back out. RE.EU is going to come in and try to take this Parasite. This is spotted out by a ward from LFDH. We'll see if they decide to fight for this. Volek and Mara are trading blows down bot lane, but I think this is going to go Wrath of Heavens, maybe? No, this is going to be a Mortal Team Parasite. Mianhe may pay for this with his life. He gets a little bit too aggro. The Avalanche comes out, not quite stunning anyone, but Volek is trying to do enough with the Damnation in the middle of the fight. The Reckoning from Ronan gets Stormwalled backwards. Looks like Porkchop will indeed go down to Snitch, and Snitch playing that Ronan to great efficiency right now, using that Reckoning to do as much AoE damage as possible, blinking really aggressively, and it's just one of those things that I love to see, because range carries sometimes play a little bit too passively. Yeah. And Snitch is I would just call him a playmaker. He goes for it.
He's definitely a confident player, I would say that. Boy, oh boy, Fat Sea Turtle just got melted, even with Damnation active. Yep. I mean, that was pretty rough. I think most of what caused that was the fact that he got rooted, he got locked down, and he wasn't able to get any auto attacks off, because that really, if Volek wants to survive, even with his ult up, he's got to get those auto attacks off.
I'm curious to see how well this Michaela is farming up top lane, because she is going to be, I feel like, the saving grace for LFDH. If there's any chance that they can really come back and win this game and put a dent in the tankiness of and the lead that RE.EU has, it's going to be Michaela. She's farming pretty effectively, 95 CS to the 102 of Ashabel, but still, the Gladiators on the Mortal side, 115 CS, 123 CS. Ambition, Pain now finished for Ronin, Decay, Aggression for Desecrator. This lead is looking really, really good for RE.EU. They've taken both Parasites. They took a really, really sneaky early Parasite. Ferris was able to take it down. You see Fat Cito go ahead and farm these small tamps. Going through the items once again, you see Ronin picking up that command and time. You see Sakari with that that growth clarity into actually a quick Faith Rush. So she's actually pretty worried about the magical damage coming out from LFDH. You see the tankiness from Ferris there, the prosperity and freedom from Mara, along with the decay, time, aggression, and life on Desecrator.
Well, I think that with Sakari, she realizes that with that ult, that gank, even though it didn't end up well for their team, Punisher kind of painted a target on his head. So, you know, he's going to build a little bit tankier, maybe throw them off a little bit. And Ronin has been quietly racking up. Like you said, he had over 120 CS. He's 2-0-5. He's got two epic items already. I mean, or legendary items. He's quietly racked up quite the lead right now.
That destruction now finished on Ashabel. Her Gales are gonna be start to do incredible damage to the enemy team, except for that Sakari, who, like we said, built that Faith pretty early. So she's kind of playing against this poke game. She knows that the poke from Ashabel is huge. The wave clear from LFDH is nothing to shake a stick at either. They've got Endless Delights, they've got Gale, they've got Captivate, they've got Devour, they've got Collateral, they've got so much wave clear on just about every shaper that they have on their team that this siege gonna be kind of hard, I would say, from RE. They don't have any really good wave clear. I would say the best wave clear they potentially have is like the Forgotten Tombs and Desecrated Ground combo coming out from Desecrator. Punisher is called out, but that Faith is going to do a ton of work. It only takes about half of his HP. I feel like without the Faith, that probably would have been knocked down to about a quarter HP. Tree of Life coming out from Mara is going to keep her healthy under the spine. The Riptide lands on 2, but no follow-up from LFDH. Ronin's going to be able to walk on out of that one. They picked the targets that they needed. They had Desecrator and they had Ronin knocked up, but no follow-up from LFDH. He's going to let RE.EU just continue to siege this bind.
Absolutely. Scipio poking a little bit with his W. Not keeping that in range for him though. Keeping that in range for him. Not really trying to do a lot of damage. Not really trying to do a lot of burst damage, I should say. That access memory when it's in melee form, I mean, does a lot of damage. Taking a look down at bottom lane, we see Ronin just going down there, getting ready to start to do a split push. I think he's going to get pretty far here. I mean, he's already built a commanding lead when it comes to farm. He's not the best farming shaper though.
He can do a lot of damage, especially his On the House's E was just recently buffed to do a little bit more damage.
Right.
So he's able to wave clear more effectively. It looks like LFDH did want to try to engage off of that Ronin split pushing, but not quite able to capitalize. Again, Amarith did blow her Riptide, her kind of AoE knockup onto Desecrator and Ronin a little bit earlier, so that's not quite up. So no engage coming out. She is a very good engager. She's one of the only engagers on LFDH. The only way a bullet can engage, right, is Blitz or Blink or something like that.
Right.
But Amarith needs to land a Riptide to engage, or King of Mass needs to land some kind of a Captivate, a Flourish Captivate, like that right there, but no follow-up. The Tidal Prison just barely misses that Sakari, but that's what they need. They need those catches like that. But Ronin is going to come back up, join his team, make it again a 5v5. But the Spirit side, you know, they've got 4 magic damage dealers, so I feel like as the game goes on, they're just going to fall potentially further and further behind, because it's really easy to itemize, obviously, against one type of damage. The more magic resist that comes out for RE.EU, the sadder and sadder that LFDH are going to get.
LFDH is 4 capped right now. For those of you who may not be familiar with the mechanic of the Spirit Wells, those are basically economy resource nodes, and owning them gives your team passive economy gain. Right now, Rare Elixir owns all of them. They're getting a considerable amount of bonus Vim. That's going to result in better items faster.
Absolutely. You see the On the House coming out. There's the wave clear. RE actually showing that they have decent wave clear themselves, not to be outdone by the Spirit side. Tidal Prison comes out to check that brush. RE.EU setting a trap right here. Ooh, I like this. There's no wards that have been spotted out right now. LFDH have to have an inkling. They have to think that this Parasite is being done. It looks like, honestly, they may just be giving it up. RE, their efforts may be in vain. As soon as they see the Spirit Well, though, I think they're going to go ahead and start the Parasite.
I think they are. Yeah, they're gonna give it up. They realize at this point in the game they cannot contest. This is going to be a basically a free Stage 2 Parasite for Rare Elixir right now.
Yeah.
And you got to wonder, is there anything at this point that LFDH can do to get back into this match, Brad?
It's all about picks. They have to pick someone, but there's not any incredible targets for them to pick. I mean, a lot of people are tanky on RE. Right now you see the Ambition Pain. We'll see what it picks up. A Justice,
of
a
course.
Time, and a Power as well. Sakari finally getting her Duress to add to her legendary tier Faith. You see the Betrayal and Ambition as well completed from Ferris. Prosperity, Stability, and a few basic resiliences and times. And Desecrator finishing off that Destruction now. So this is 100% a Major Creator. And Volek on the Live Free, Dive Hard Spirit side, you see the Ambition Balance. You see the Hostility coming out from Amaranth. You see the Pestilence coming out from King of Mass. Ambition Pain coming out from Michaela. The difference becomes so clear when you look at the disparity of legendaries.
Yes.
Right now, LFDH is so far behind as far as itemization is concerned, and the fact that all of these Spirit Wells are controlled by Rare Elixir right now, it's very hard for them to catch up. It's going to take them, I would say, 10 to 15 minutes for them to catch up if they want to. The Riptide does come. Wrath of Heavens will land onto 2 members of RE. This could be the fight that LFDH needs, but the Forgotten Tombs will come out, plus the Icebergs from Sakari will actually deter the Blitz Volek. So, you may have Blitz Volek, but Icebergs will keep you away from our team.
Those Icebergs, really well placed by Sakari. Wow.
Ronan actually split pushing here, using that on the house, going to try to scare off Michaela. They are pinging right now. The Avalanche misses completely wide right. Skyness first forced to burn his blink, and Fat Sea Turtle is trying to do as much damage as he can. Porkchop getting incredibly low. Oh man, this would be a fantastic time for Ronan's ulti. Oh, he would clean up with Reckoning right here. But it looks like instead they're going to not be greedy, which is the smart play. Some teams get overzealous, they get over greedy, they say, oh, forget this binding. That's 3 easy kills for us. They get baited underneath another binding, potentially dive even more, maybe a Guardian. I don't know. It's a very smart move for them to pull out, take the binding, and then take this blue buff.
No one to hold him, no one to fold him, right? I want to point out something with Punisher. Punisher's done something really good, and it shows just how much of a team player he is right now. Early game, he was just dealing tremendous amounts of damage. He was the burst damage, and he was serving that purpose very well. He's kind of transitioned into more of a support mage role, much like the King of Masks is right now. Doing a wonderful job of zoning the enemy team out, CCing. Didn't quite hit that avalanche earlier, but still has had some great avalanches throughout this game.
But he burned a blink in the process.
He did burn a blink in the process.
And it's one of those things where, like, if you try to throw down an avalanche and someone blinks it, it's not your fault.
Yep.
They just have great reaction times. They're just a good player.
Yep.
But you burned about 120, maybe less second cooldown. They burned a 5-minute cooldown. Punisher being caught out just a hair. The Gale and Wrath of Heavens are going to come down to slow him, but no follow-up again from LFDH. They're having to contend with this split push right now. They've got 3 members bot, 2 members top. In the meantime, Ferris is up top for RE.EU, and all 4 members of RE, now that Desecrator is kind of shambling into this mix, going to siege down this bot binding. Parasite's not up. They honestly, it seems weird, but they've got nothing better to do. Like, this is what they need to do. They're ahead in items. They're trying to win early. It's only 22 minutes into this game right now. They've got a 7-2 kill lead, which may not sound like a lot, but they've kept all 4 Spirit Wells for at least 5 or so minutes now. They've got 91 Spirit Well workers to 0. Their economy is absolutely booming, but they don't 100% need the items right now. They're going to go ahead and sit on some fat stacks of Vim. They'll go back eventually, purchase, come back, make this push, and probably be able to end the game relatively shortly, unless LFDH, again, can make those picks. And they've got a decent enough team to do it. Amaranth can blow some people up. King of Mass, probably going to be building into a Duress. I don't know if he already has it, but that would have been a great pick right there. But the injection comes out. Again, Snitch just showing his prowess with Ronan, able to predict the CC that's coming towards him, and was able to walk on out of it. But had they hit, Injection would have gotten him out of that in record time.
100%. I have to think right now that Rare Elixir is basically just keeping the pressure on until Parasite spawns.
Yeah.
Then they're going to try and get a 1 or 2 picks if they can. But if not, they'll try to bait out Parasite, or they'll just take it outright.
Yeah, we saw them try to bait out a Parasite last time. They kind of waited sneakily around a wall. Desecrator getting taken very low. The Tidal Prison does land on Tamara, but not the intended target, I would say, of Ronan.
Great body block by Dorfer MC there. Just an outstanding body block. Keeps Snitch from taking a little bit of a chunk of health out.
Parasite coming up in just a few minutes. If they do wait until that 25-minute mark, the Parasite will evolve, become Stage 3, and then you get, of course, the Striders, you get the Vim bonus, and you get the Parasite buff as well. So RE, they've got no real rush here.
No.
They're winning right now. Again, 106 Spirit Well workers to 0. That is so much money. Again, if you're new to Dongate, you don't understand. Each of those workers is representing some extra vim for the team that controls them. Having 106 to 0 is absolutely crushing to LFDH's economy right now, and they don't have the opportunity to really take a well. The thing that I could think that they could possibly do, they don't really have a ward on Parasite, but once Parasite comes back up, which it is right now, it's going to evolve in a minute. I would expect RE.EU to wait because they have no rush to do Parasite.
And they're going to want the Striders at this point.
Yeah, I would expect them to, as soon as the Parasite evolves, to anticipate that RE.EU is going to do it and potentially take the 2 Spirit Wells closest to them. Those Spirit Wells are unlocked, they're capturable, and I really want to see LFDH try to do something, try to make a play. You see they're slowly coming out of their base right now. They don't really know that RE.EU is backing at this moment, but being able to push these waves out and then go ahead and take the Spirit Wells is what they need to do to get back into this game.
All right, so Ronan is picking up he's got the Justice already. The Justice is actually a huge item for Ronan. Every time he activates that his dash, he's going to get that extra movement speed. Every ability gives him extra movement speed there. Also rounding that out with a Dominance there too. So nice little on-hit and power buffs right there.
Some tankiness coming out from Sakari, like you mentioned, Duress, Faith, and now a Freedom as well, so she's going to be very hard to lock down. Looking at the next item, you have Ferris. He is going to be having the Vengeance, Ambition, and Betrayal, so a lot of on-hit effects for him.
Absolutely.
That's what he's going for. And this Parasite should be taken down pretty quickly. And this is actually a really smart play. I want to point out, RE.EU, they don't need 5 members to do Parasite. So what they do instead is actually send Desecrator down bot lane to push out this wave to disallow LFDH from taking that Spirit Well. Really, really smart call from them to just say, hey, we don't need you, Desecrator. We don't want them to get any more footholds back in this game. They took the North Spirit Well. We'll give them that. That's their consolation prize. They're going to go home with at least one party favor this game. But we don't want them to take that Eastern Spirit Well. So a really nice strategic call from RE.EU.
Alrighty. So that Parasite is off the field for another 5 minutes now, but RE.EU, they have Striders. Striders are basically the equivalent of super minions in our game. They make a significant difference when it comes to the pushing capability of a team. And that's probably what Rare Elixir needed just to completely and totally finish this game out. So we shall see if that lets them push down these tier 3 bindings in short order or not.
You see the buffs are coming back up for the Spirit side, but it's not going to go to them. It looks like RE is probably going to take an opportunity. They send Ronan to go ahead and take the blue buff because that is a fantastic buff to have on your range carry. And a big difference you see in Striders, if you're unfamiliar with Dawngate, they are actually in the front of the wave for a reason because they actually tank more damage in the bindings than they potentially would do if they were to be positioned in the back wave. Ronan actually separated from his team right here, probably has his blink up if he gets in any danger, and there it is. That final payment's going to come out for Mikella, but a lot of body blocking using Bolt to just barely escape the targeting reticle of Asherbel's Wrath of Heavens.
Boy, that Wrath of Heaven was actually really well played, and I think against almost any other Shaper aside from Ronan, she would have had him. Really good body blocking from Mara. Continued good mechanics, good play from Rare Elixir EU.
And this is what LFDH needs. They need to pressure the Spirit Well. They know Ronan was low, but of course with an Ambition, he is back up in record time. Fat Sea Turtle but getting caught out on Volek here. Mara blocking her Force of Nature. Oh my god, Mianhe went down so quickly. And now Volek, it looks like he's going to come in from the back, but get walled off by Sakari and just put into the Thunderdome with 3 members of RE.EU, and he goes down. This binding should shred and go down like paper for RE.EU. Snitch showing his damage right now, absolutely destroying Ashwell with just a few shots. Great icebergs, burns the blink for King of Mass there. Sakari playing out of her mind right now. And Ronan actually just split pushing these cores all by himself, saying, team, you go take that one. I got these 2 over here. Those back cores, obviously the most important cores. They're the most easily defensible for the mortal side, or for the spirit side rather right now. Guardian, this end-game boss fight, he is a Phantom 6th man, and we've seen him actually turn around games before. So we'll see if LFDH can work with that and potentially make a comeback here. But these cores, the more that go down, the weaker and weaker and weaker the Guardian gets. As you can see, his life bar is now vulnerable. RE.EU is trying to take him down. That's 50% health. That's 25% health. And that is going to be the game for RE.EU, taking down LFDH in this best-of-1 series. And they're going to move on to tomorrow.
That's correct. They will be playing in the semifinals tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Pacific time. that was quite the match. You know, Rare Elixir EU from the start just was dominating from the get-go. You know, this is something that we said that we were worried about a little bit with this team comp from LFDH. Too squishy.
Yep.
Too much magic damage. Not enough lockdown. Not enough meat.
Again, their hope was to get ahead early, right? They needed to get ahead early so their power curve was above kind of the tankiness that RE.EU could build. But in that game, you had an early first blood coming out for RE.EU, securing that